Herewith, some questions that arise regarding the recent Gaza negotiations and the position adopted by India. Why has India been so reticent about Trump's 20-point proposal, in stark contrast to that of the 8 Muslim countries that have welcomed it unreservedly? Why did India also not welcome the Hamas proposal of the plan calling for the release of the hostages, the return of the Palestinian Authority to Gaza, the unification of the West Bank and Gaza, leading to a full Israeli withdrawal? After all, everybody else thought that they were entirely appropriate. Herewith some questions that arise regarding the recent Gaza negotiations and the position adopted by India. Why has India been so reticent about Trump's 20-point proposal, in stark contrast to that of the 8 Muslim countries that welcomed it unreservedly? Why did India also not welcome Hamas's acceptance of the plan, calling for the release of the hostages, the return of the Palestinian Authority to Gaza, the unification of the West Bank, and Gaza's leading role to a full Israeli withdrawal? Was India's reticence a reflection of its own and Israel's disappointment that the Greater Israel project, about which Netanyahu was so keen, would not feature in the talks due to US opposition, and that in effect this key proposal for Netanyahu had been kicked into the tall grass? Incidentally, let's not forget that, like the Greater Israel project, India too has as her goal the undoing of partition. In other words, the undoing of Pakistan. And this project has long been a moody RSS Janasangh goal. Of greater concern to Pakistan is another set of questions. Why is the Indian Defence Minister, the Army Chief, the Air Force Chief, creating a war hysteria by alleging that Pakistan is militarizing Sir Creek in the Rana of Kutch, with the aim of attacking India, and hence India must ready itself to wipe Pakistan off the face of the world map? Does this absurd accusation or threat, does this mean that India is now readying for war? Is that why Israel is sending a military delegation to India to see how they can help India prepare in this war effort? Does the war exterior stem from Modi's belief that he must get even with Pakistan, that he must recoup his lost prestige following the defeat of Operation Sindoor, and that unless he does so by November, when the Bihar elections are due, he will be out of a job, thrashed in the polls, and lose his prime ministership? Is this linked with his alleged bid to rig the elections, the Bihar elections, with the help of a corrupt Chief Election Commissioner of India? Given that India is 10 times Pakistan's size and spends $86 billion on its defense budget, in comparison to Pakistan's measly 10 billion, Modi clearly fancies his chances in a war against Pakistan. And in he often recalls that in 1971, what happened? Well, in 1971, one Pakistani division in East Pakistan was confronted by 9 well-equipped Indian divisions and total mastery of the air and total naval superiority. But this is irrelevant now, because the next war could well be a nuclear war. And this one fact changes every calculation. Mutual assured destruction, otherwise known as MAD, makes it madness to talk of a nuclear conflict in terms of victory or defeat for one side or the other. Fact is, both will lose, and conceivably the subcontinent may become unlivable.